death grip.
Yeah.
Those guys, which brings us to the last fight, man.
Yeah,
it's a
we
perfect,
speak death grip. Yeah.
Yeah, that Ben Askren fight. Dude, I watched that fight. I watched that finish like 10 times, trying to figure out what happened or whether he was out or whether he wasn't out. I was pretty convinced that at one point in time he went out, and then Kamaru Usman changed my mind. Kamaru Usman showed we watched the videotape together. He's like, no, he's giving a thumbs up. And I'm like, shit.
Yeah, okay, so I'm still, because the angles I've seen haven't been the best, I'm trying to see this thumbs up. Was the thumb going up or was the thumb in a thumbs up position going this way?
Right, like as the arm drops, was the thumb in a thumbs up position.
So when I give somebody a thumbs up, like I'm going to say somebody, good job.
You want this.
Good job, buddy.
Right, good job.
Thumbs
buddy.
up. Yeah.
That's what you want.
That's what I want to do, you know.
Right.
So I mean, I don't know, nobody's going to know whether he was conscious or unconscious. What I saw everything that would indicate I'm seeing an unconscious fighter. I see an arm go limp for no reason whatsoever. And so that's what I have to work with. Because that's what, you know, we don't know what someone's feeling or whatever. We just see if they're doing something that doesn't make sense and you see an arm go limp at that time, you're going to assume that the person's unconscious.
We assumed it.
Yeah.
As the broadcast team.
Yeah, I can hear you guys. And that I'm supposed to do certain things. And like, so here's the thing with that choke. When I'm refereeing fights, you know, there's sometimes where, you know, some positions are anxiety. Like, you know, you see two guys going after leg locks. You see a noodle mess of legs and you know you're going to have to help one guy out and figure out who's tapping and make sure you're on the right arm. When I see some chokes, a rear naked choke, especially the guy in the back face up, I take a sigh of relief. My job just got so much easier. This guy, you know, it's not like he's going to go out and then a second take some extreme amount of damage. He may go out, I'll have a second to make sure, not even a second, a half a breath to make sure he's okay. And then let it go out and he's not going to take any other damage. A bulldog choke, anytime you have a choke where somebody's, where there's pressure on the neck and they're bending the C-spine backwards like that, that's a rough situation for me. So I see someone go limp and I know that on top of it, they're no longer putting tension on their neck and their neck is just being bent. I can't see that I should do something different than that. Because that's I like to talk to people about this. I like to talk to people who have opinions about fights, especially people who are interested and who they know what they're talking about. Because if I always have a situation, if I always have a mindset that I'm always doing the right thing, I can't get better. So I'm going to have to look at something and say, is there, a teachable moment there? Is there a way I can learn from this? And is there a way I could do something different? And no, I don't think, I think with that same situation, with an arm going limp, with that type of a choke on someone, I don't know of a defense that requires the arm. You know what I mean? I would think the arm should be doing something else. At this time, I don't see that I should do something different. You know, I'm always interested and always looking and I love these type of conversations. But right now, I can't think of, and to tell you something, it was an amazing fight.
It was.
Yeah, it was. I mean, first of all, it was the first time I'd refereed Ben Askren. I don't think I'd refereed him before. And, when you're, and his pressure is something special. It's not the normal. And the way Robbie dealt with it, and Robbie had him in trouble. I was so close to stopping that fight.
When they were on the ground?
Yeah, so many times. Yeah.
Robbie was hitting him with some bombs.
Yeah, the amount of respect I have for those two athletes, man, it's like, so that's the thing is, we never want to see anything that could make you have a feeling that it's inconclusive. But I can't think of what else I should have done. But, especially for that fight for those two guys, you always want it. Yeah, the people to have a feeling of conclusion there.
Well, when we talked about on the phone, when you brought up the damage, the possible damage to the neck with the bulldog choke, you might be cutting off nerves and you might be bending the spine in a kind of a fucked up way. Yeah. I really hadn't considered that. When I was thinking of the choke when he grabbed hold of him, I was just thinking it was a blood choke. But you're right, like the way you lean in on a bulldog choke, you lean back.
Yeah,
that's a lot of pressure on the neck.
I've had some chokes where. I've refereed a fight where a guy did one of these moves. You had a move for it, a technique where he's bending the spine backwards.
Twister?
It wasn't a twister. I think guys have a name for it.
Do you know what the executioner is?
So that's what it was.
That's what it is. Can I explain to people? What that is like if a guy is...
okay, so not to cut you off.
Okay.
So for so long, I've never really wanted to talk about it because people weren't doing it. This was years ago I saw it, but now if there's a name for it, I guess it's okay. But you hadn't seen a lot of people doing it before, right?
Well, we started doing it in 10th Planet a few years back. I think people have done it. What it is basically, folks, it's like a guillotine from the back. It's like taking you have like rear naked choke hooks, but instead of choking a guy this way, which is how you would do it, which is wrap your forearm underneath his neck and wrap the other arm behind his head. Instead of doing that, you wrap your arm all the way around the front like a guillotine hold, but from the back, and you have ungodly leverage.
Right.
It's ungodly how much pressure you can put on someone's neck. And our friend Scott Epstein, he used it quite a few times, so we called it the Executioner. Is that it there?
Oh, I'm trying to find a picture of one.
Pull this arm. Is that what he's going to do?
No, this is the Executioner choke. This is a different choke.
Oh.
He calls it the Executioner.
I looked that up and nothing came up.
Okay, I think I might have it here for you.
Scott
Something like
Epstein.
this. This is a little different. This guy had arms in. This is different, but it's similar.
Oh yeah, it's similar though. That's
It's similar.
Yeah, you could have arms in. Yeah, that's the same thing. Yeah, this is it. That's 100% it. So I don't know if we're going to show people that.
Right.
Either way, it's a real bad place to be in. Oh, this guy got it? Yeah, that's
Okay,
That's
yeah.
Scott
North,
Epstein.
south.
That's the north-south choke.
Is that it, or is that it?
But what he would do if he wanted to do an executioner is he would get his hips underneath the guy
Right.
and get back position. This is just a really good north-south choke.
So yeah, so what I saw was the guy who went north-south, and he this was years ago at a King of the Cage in way out in Wisconsin, and he had wow, this is a long time ago. He had north-south, and he sat up. Once he had the guy, he sat up and pulled the guy's body up onto him in almost a sitting position, and then put hooks.
Right.
And then I've done it before where I'll roll the guy to the side. And I'll put, just to walk it through and figure out how it worked. He put hooks, and I was sitting there. I was like, okay, this isn't illegal. If I stop this fight, it's not, or this is not an illegal move, but I don't want to see how this plays out. And the guy got one hook in, and almost the second hook was about to go in. The guy tapped, and when I pulled him off, the guy couldn't move.
His neck was fucked up.
Yeah, he couldn't move. He had some sort of stinger. I don't know what's going on. He couldn't move. He was terrified. I was terrified. Yeah, and then it kind of
Came back.
Came back. Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah, I know of several guys that have gotten paralyzed because of defense from guillotine or trying to take a guy down when they're
Right. Yeah.
when someone gets you in a guillotine.
Yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah, so that's why with some submissions, especially some of the chokes, it's like, okay, things are slowing down, and okay, things are getting a little bit easier for me. With that one, things are not easy at all. That's not something that I want to play with. I think if I'm kind of disappointed with some people have a platform. I don't want to mention any names, but some people have a platform, have kind of tossed it out. It was something sensational and say, oh, look at this. Is he wrong or right? I think that's a little irresponsible when it's some dangerous techniques like that.
Well, I think you really pointed that out about the neck in a very important way. And I think that's something that people should really take into consideration when you see someone. You've seen people, have you ever refereed someone who got caught in a twister?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's a horrible place to be in.
Yeah, no, it's a horrible place to be.
It's so your neck is so fucked up, and there's so much pressure, and the fact that your left leg's isolated, and your head's getting pulled to it feels like it's gonna break.
It's a fucked up place to be, even for the fact of the way it's set up, because it's not like not like a fast thing that catches you off guard. No. It's a long road to it.
Yeah.
So it's coming. It's coming, and you're like, I'm doing this, but I know how this is going to probably end, and you're doing some little yeah.
There's Chan Sung Jung, Korean Zombie.
Mm-hmm.
I think he got the first ever one on Leonard Garcia. I think that was the first. Look at that.
In the
that
UFC,
is so horrible, dude. That is so bad. That feels so terrible.
Yeah.
And that's then there's DEFCON 4 when you take a rear naked choke grip from the twister position.
Oh yeah, okay, I've seen that.
You're just ripping dudes' heads clean off. It's horrible. All those crazy like catch wrestling neck manipulation things.
Right.
Those things make my neck hurt just looking at them.
Yeah. So anyway, that's That's why I think, you can't always say look at things as good or bad, but, some situations I've seen referees in, and that one I think is a difficult situation. Not so. I've seen other harder situations, but you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
it's an unusual one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen quite a few bulldog chokes that put someone unconscious. Most recently, Raquel Pennington against Ashley Evans Smith, which was a crazy fight. Crazy fight. Raquel Pennington's so fucking tough. I mean, that was a crazy fight, man. It was just war and chaos. And then with like 1 second to go, she chokes her out and then lets her go, and she's asleep from the bulldog choke. And Ashley Evans Smith steps up, covered in blood. I mean, it was fucking crazy. That was crazy. But there was that one. Didn't Chris Lights Out Lytle catch Tiki in a bulldog choke? I think he did.
Maybe.
Of course,
if we're going to go
Carlos Newton
that's
won the title.
Yeah, that's that looked really tight.
Yeah, forget that.
That's the one.
Go to Carlos Newton chokes out Pat Miletich, because this was for the title, and he caught him in a bulldog choke, and it is like that was. I don't think we had a name for it. I think we used to call it a schoolyard headlock back then.
Somebody called it a bulldog choke at that time. I remember people were calling it a bulldog choke.
Oh, like it already had that name.
I don't know if it had there. Maybe they gave it to, but yeah.
It's a legit move.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a legit move. Like, especially if you're a Ben Askren type dude with that kind of grip, you get a hold of someone's neck in that position.
Yeah,
It's horrible. Yeah. That was that's why I say that referees have the hardest job, because you're in that situation. You do have to take those things into consideration. What kind of damage is this doing to this guy's neck? Is he out? His arm went limp. Okay, when do I step? I gotta save him. Like,
that is the tough part about it. We're evaluating a situation as always. There's different, and you're evaluating the threat to the person. You're evaluating if there's a threat coming. How well can they deal with it?
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff going on there, and we take it really serious. I take it really serious. It's to me, it's I feel that I have a sacred trust. I feel that it's one of these positions that our athletes are not stupid people. A lot of them could be doing a lot of things with their life, and they've chosen this path to, and they take time from their family, they take time away from other careers where they could be progressing, and all to meet their dreams and hopes, and I need to balance that with their safety. So it's something I think about a lot, you know what I mean? I'm, even in the way I talk to my friends, you know what I mean, to always, I'm always working as a referee. Anytime I'm out in the streets or with friends, people are going to ask me, what do I think about this fight, or who do I think can be better? And because of this job you're doing, you no longer have the luxury of having, of talking about mixed martial arts in the fun way about who's going to win and how's this going to happen, because who knows, I might referee the fight.
Right.
And everyone's going to be on the internet. Like, Herb's refereeing the fight, and we were having beers yesterday. And guess what he told me?
Right.
Yeah, it's just, so yeah, I take it serious.
No, you do, and I'm glad you have that attitude. What is this one right here? Oh yeah, this is Carl.
Mm-hmm.
This is Carlos right here.
Yeah.
In the transition, he grabs the neck, and it's a crazy visual too, because the photograph, you see the muscle right there. I mean, that is crazy muscles in Carlos's arm and shoulder and neck. Look at that, Carlos Newton, champion of the world. Right there, that moment. Isn't that crazy? Carlos had some spectacular grappling early on, man. Wild transitions.
Yeah, he was amazing.
Beautiful jiu-jitsu.
His explosiveness, his agility. I mean, he was so athletic. He was doing stuff that no one else. Yeah.
He also had a really high level submission game early on.
Yeah.
Like in 96, 97. A lot of people didn't have that kind of a game, and his submission game was tight. The Matt Hughes one was crazy. Remember that?
Yeah, that was crazy. That
catches him in a triangle.
That triangle choke where he had him up, and
he puts him to sleep, and as they get up, Matt Hughes, you hear his corner saying, like, stand up, you won. He's like, what happened?
Yeah. The double knockout. Yeah. I have that one. I have one at King of the Cage, a double knockout.
Here it is, right here.
Yeah.
Look how goddamn strong Matt Hughes was. He was so fucking strong.
That ability.
He holds him up there. And Carlos is trying to.
He's squeezing.
He's squeezing. So Matt goes unconscious. He's out cold.
He doesn't know what's going on,
and no one knows what's going on. And so Carlos's head hit the ground when he went down like that, and that knocked him out.
Right.
And then Matt woke up from the choke, and they're like, "You won."
Yeah.
I was like, what? It's great. That was a crazy scene. That scene was a tough one. I was like, what do you do there?
Yeah.
Well, that was like the thing about this Robbie Lawler Ben Askren fight. Like, Usman was saying they got to run it back, and I was like, it wouldn't be a bad thing to run it back. I mean,
well, at the same time, we got to be honest here. Like, as far as running it back, how many of the fights that happen in the UFC are there because it's exciting what people want to see?
yeah, most.
Right. So
Brock Lesnar DC is a perfect example, right?
So that's exciting as people want to see it. And some of the excitement has been generated by throwing me under the bus, but cool. You know what I'm saying? Cool. Give the people another time. I'm taking. I got big shoulders. I can take it.
It great.
But I think anytime that the athletes get to do what they do, and people are going to watch it again, and people are going to be excited about it. I don't know.